Welcome to another exciting episode of the Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Paper Guy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And Mr. Magazine, I went over to Reddit, the flipping over on Reddit, and I'm going to ask you a question that was asked over there.
Okay.
How do I accept and be proud of being a full-time flipper with no career at 35 plus? Basically, this has been an insecurity of mine. It was fine as a teen, even during college, but I feel the older and older I get, the more I feel almost embarrassed about my situation. And not to mention, forget about telling anyone what I do. I owe a lot of my success toward being a full-time flipper for over 10 years. Pays for my living expense, full food, able to put some money into retirement, medical, etc. But nowhere is it comparable to a career where bonuses, matches, job title status, security is abundant. In my culture is always you go to school, preferably a prestigious one, get a regular 9-to-5 job, start a family, buy a fancy house, etc. When it comes to other aspects of my life, like finding a partner or friends, there's always a hassle trying to explain to them what I do. It's not like I make my own items, and this falls into the creative field, and we know many people judge creative field as unstable. Finding someone who is understanding of your situation and still wants to partner up is like finding a needle in a haystack. I might have to accept being alone forever. I hate that people judge your job as your whole identity, especially when deciding a life partner. Wow. So again, how do I accept and be proud of being a full-time flipper with no career at 35 plus years old?
Yeah, I would certainly be happy. One, you're successful. Two, I don't know if you went to college or not. If you didn't, it's even better because you saved all that money to go to college. But the big thing is you don't answer to anybody. You're your own boss.
Right.
I mean, I think that's huge. And, you know, all these people out there, if they want some prestigious lawyer or doctor, well, let them date them and you'll find someone eventually, you know. But I would be proud. And like I tell my wife and stuff, it's like, it's not easy to sell 200-300 items or whatever your level is, 30, 40, every single day, successfully making money for 10, 20, 30 years. I mean, I don't think it's easy for us to do in our line, but we're doing it, you know. So just keep sticking with it. You grow and make more money, and the right woman will come along someday like she did for me.
I agree, not with everything you just said. But again, embrace it. It's what you're doing. No disrespect to the poster. It's unlikely at this moment you will ever become a doctor or a lawyer or anything at all like that. So accept what you are. You're making a living out of it. You're putting money away for retirement, which is more than a lot of people. There are a lot of people in the 9-to-5 jobs who aren't putting anything away for retirement. They're just not. And you're able to do so. You're able to pay for your health care. That's pretty impressive. Yeah. Pretty impressive to be able to do that. I would pat myself on the back if I were you. And
you're really only going to get better and smarter and more experience as you go on. You'll be buying smarter, making more money. Yeah, absolutely. Stick with it.
And bottom line, you don't mention what it is that you sell, but it really doesn't matter. That being said, you could sit there and, I mean, if you stop and you think about it, what is Christie's? What is Sotheby's? What is Heritage? Well, they're nothing but resellers. They happen to be an auction format to resell things, and they don't even own the things, whereas you are owning the things that you're reselling. So you can move all the way up there. You get into a secondhand watch dealer, and he's flipping Rolexes and Pateks. That's pretty impressive nonetheless. We know somebody that flips comics, but only flips high-end comic books. If you needed an X-Men #1, you give him a call, he'll get you one. Yeah. That kind of deal. And he's making good money off of it, just off of that. So you can make a living off it, and obviously it sounds like you're somewhat up the food chain to start with, and no disrespect meant to anybody whatsoever, but there are different levels. You know, you've got the clean out guys who sit there and run stuff off to the scrap, which is great. I mean, they're keeping stuff out of the landfill, getting it reused. Yeah. You got the guys that set up at the flea markets. You got the guys that actually have the brick and mortar stores, all the way up through to the people selling on the various websites, all the way up to the rare secondhand. Or what's a used car dealer, really, when you get down to it?
Same thing.
He's doing exactly the same thing. He's flipping cars he picks up however he picks them up. And again, even there, it's like anything else. You got the lower end ones that service a certain market, and you guys, the guys that just deal in the $100,000 plus cars.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to date a hoity-toity female, maybe don't use the word flipper. Online reseller, who knows?
That was one thing.
The word flipper seems, like a little more like not a shyster, but a quick flip, and
Well, that was another thing a lot of people said, and most of the people in the comments basically told the guy he was crazy. said be proud of what you are. You're a small businessman, and congratulations. How many people have the cojones to even open their own small business, let alone succeed at it?
Right.
And don't worry about what everybody else says. Be proud of what you're doing. You're making a living, and that's really what it all comes down to. Because how many of these people in that 9-to-5 desk job could potentially be laid off?
Oh yeah, well, stress. They're probably not happy. Most people aren't happy in that work environment. If you like what you're doing, that's another huge thing. You like your job. You're answering to nobody. You're making money. What more can you ask for?
Right, and the 9-to-5 world definitely is changing. It's not really so much a 9-to-5 world anymore either. I mean, there are court cases out there now about bosses bothering their employees after hours and on weekends and things like that.
It's crazy.
I mean, these things happen, and bosses expect employees to answer despite not paying them anything for it.
Wow.
And that burns people out. And so it's kind of crazy on that side too. So you don't have to deal with any of it. I mean, you can turn your phone off if you want to. You're your own business. Now, you may not want to because you're your own business, because it might be the call of the century coming in.
Right.
So you may want to get it and then, return the call and say, yeah, I can come out tomorrow and take a look at the items that you have for sale. But yeah, I think we're all in agreement, and so is everybody over on Reddit, saying, hey, be proud. Be proud of yourself. You are a successful businessman, and not a lot of people can say that. Comment down below what advice you would give to them as well. But the other thing that a lot of people said was, you're in your late 30s. Why do you care what anybody thinks?
Exactly.
And that's a lot of what the other comments were as well. Just be true to yourself, be happy for yourself, and don't worry about what anybody else thinks. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. Do hit the like button if you could, and we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.